gold and what so tying in what you just saying now. I saw them the military standing over that gold that you said they got brought from Vatican, because I was wondering why they got all that gold sitting out there. I didn't even know what it was for.
600.
Go ahead.
650 airplanes. This gold was tagged that it came from here. It was clearly identified as our shit. It wasn't no mistake that it belonged to us.
Damn. I seen it, but I didn't know what the hell that was. I seen them out there camp like boxing that shit up in black boxes.
Yeah. So it took 650 cargo planes to get all of the gold back.
Dang, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of damn gold. Is it the gold from Fort Knox?
What's going on the land?
Yeah, I seen that though. I seen that. I seen that, bro. Yeah. Man. I seen them out there stacking the gold and putting it in the crates. And I said, damn, I wonder where that gold going or where that gold coming from. But I didn't look into it. I just thought it was another country or something. I didn't even look into it. I just said it's a lot of gold that they stacking up right there. You know, where they getting that gold from?
Yeah. So the certificate of ownership for the gold was in the Philippines. Trump, when he got that, like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
He went and got the deal, the certification of ownership, and that's how the military was able to seize it back. The Pope been gone. Yeah, the guy they got for the Pope right now, look, they take him apart and put him in the box and slide him under the bed at night.
That's facts. I got the receipt on that. I wish I would have had that in the dang in our file. I got the receipt on it. They take him out the box and put him together like a dog, man. The Pope.
Yeah. Then they got documented proof that they was using holograms at the Vatican.
Dang, this shit is getting crazy.
See, so people was wondering about the power behind the Vatican. That was the archons. The archon was beheaded 3 years ago. I posted it when it happened.
Go ahead.
Right? So the reign of terror on earth is over. All of the tribes is in on it. All of the what we call outlaw clans met at the Bang Dong conference. Pull out that one more time for the people.
Yeah, the Bang Dong.
BANDONG. Or BO.
Bang Dong
conference. That was in the 50s when all of the clans around the planet went to go to the Philippines with Sukarno to counter the governmental structures that was being imposed on indigenous people around the world. We had to come together. I just got to show you where all this stuff at, so you will know what I'm talking about. This is a global takeover by all of the collective tribes all over the world.
And Malcolm X was in on this. That's why they got him up out of here.
I don't know if Malcolm went to this.
No, I'm talking about he was in on the same movement trying to liberate all of the same. We all had the same problem around the world. America's doing this to everybody.
Yeah, that's when he had the conversation with DePinto. Yeah, remember did Gregory say that Malcolm got killed because of DePinto?
Yeah, the nigga that he was meeting up with to get him to go to the UN and try to bring
he didn't get killed. Look, he didn't get killed because of DePinto, but him and DePinto was targeted both by the CIA at the same time.
That's right. That's right.
They died within days of each other.
That's right.
Right. So coming together has been the taboo. I got the knock from Grenada to tell them about Maurice Bishop because America ran up in there and assassinated Maurice Bishop, and because they was mad he was reclaiming the island back for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then I got the chief from Cuba came, he wanted me to tell the people, remember Camilo. We know about Castro, we know about Che Guevara, but Camilo Cienfuegos, the CIA shot his airplane down, or had the Navy shoot his airplane down over the Atlantic Ocean.
Damn. This shit is just, it's layers and layers and layers and layers. That's why that room
they telling us.
Go ahead.
They telling us the cradle of civilization is in the Middle East with the Sumerians roughly about 50,000 years ago. But we got civilization records over here going back over 100,000 years ago. So where is the cradle of civilization?
Go ahead.
This is the land of Tahuti.
Go ahead. Yeah, I know that.
We know who we are. We outlaw tribes, contracted tribe. We don't have agreements with this corporate fiction. And the reason I'm on the internet once again is because I'm getting hazed. Because I hate this shit with a passion. But my people got to get information, and I need a way of communicating in the open that can be time-stamped and dated to show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we already put it out.
That's why I'm like a cash register, keep spitting out receipts. Because I got all the change.
Consumer law terms and definitions. Contract law terms and definition. What is debit?
Debt.
Oh, debt. That's what it say, right? What is debt? It will tell you.
What? So what? Hey, debt. What is debt?
Slavery.
Yeah, pretty much to sum it up. Yeah, you old nigga, and you never.
I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with all of the dancing back and forth, debtor, creditor, secured party, unsecured party.
Yeah, right.
I'm familiar with how it worked. That's the UCC codification of how to do business, and it interrupts the natives, the tribes people, from being entrepreneurial in their community by providing services their community need, by forcing them into factory labor. It ain't nothing wrong with factory labor. I worked in GM for 10 years. But when I realized what was going on, I had to walk away from the job and sever the contract. I didn't collect unemployment when I left. I just left. It's a wrap. Walking away from the contract because I discovered the fraud. Once I discovered the fraud, as one of the chiefs on the land, I'm obligated to continuously raise hell about this shit until the people can see where the fraud was at, so they can know how that I've already issued the tribal instructions according to the oral tradition that gets us from under the contract,
right,
by blood and by right, as pretender to the crown,
right,
crown prince of heaven and earth, right. So we about to find out. We didn't fucked around long enough. Now we about to find out.
Right.
Right. And that's why I don't mean I don't come at them aggressive and ride the madman. I'm coming ride the Walker University, same way I came in.
That's right.
On my first interview with LaMel, one of Malachi boys on the Blue House. Because I had to tell him back then that Hiram was raised, and then tell him why. Because that's how you have to get in the game. You got to know the language. You got to know all of the cultures on the land. At least enough of them where you can deduce the other cultures by cross-referencing them with the other cultures in other areas. I traveled the land. I would rather be on the farm right now shoveling horse shit than sitting on the internet talking. Right. I'd rather be feeding the chickens in the morning and running across the field at night with the dogs than be on this motherfucking internet. But my instructions in this brain banging game was to play this chess game in the open where everybody can see these motherfucking Mississippi clay dirt organic walking motherfuckers in human form.
That's right.
Teach y'all how Big Mama said leave no stone unturned. I got the call from 3 high chiefs on the night journey to see 3 sky chiefs, just telling me that I can't take this journey with my mama because this is a man's job.
It says Tennessee started using silver and gold legal tendency now.
Several states have already passed legislation at the state level in order to legally use gold and silver as legal tender again. Also, the local governments where we supposed to start at. Just because we don't remember how our culture run, don't mean all of us don't remember. I'm just a reminder. This is us reclaiming what's rightfully ours. We ain't asking the motherfucker for shit. We just asking for our shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because when we get our shit back, they ain't gonna have shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's why the reparations is the ploy. Get you to fight for reparations. For what? Give me my shit. Yeah, and I won't need reparations.
Yeah.
That's reparations for your ass. But they're not gonna give you nothing. You gotta know how to use their science, they games, they fifth dimensional galactic chessboard in order to go in there and pound my chest like King motherfucking Kong and tell them we want to start off by pulling up. Let's pull up Chief Pontiac first, Elder. I know that ain't the order we were supposed to go, but
hey, Raw, you want me to pull up the pictures you sent me on the Chief Pontiac?
You know the one that tell them who he was? It's a little
I got you.
Now, when you got the blood in the right, you inherit the responsibility of your ancestors to finish whatever work they was working on when they left. If you functional and capable of finishing the work, you're responsible to finish the work. So Chief Pontiac died, right, by one of the soldiers in his clans killed him, but he was in the middle of a war with the French. They didn't agree with his war strategy, so he got defted by another tribesman. Now, when we looking at what the responsibility is to get the invaders off the land right now. They function as if they all over the place, but they only in a few pockets.
Here we go. Because I was like, man, no, it ain't. Cut us off.
Why you don't turn the thumbnail so to show all the pictures?
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's then you'll know what is easy. That one right there. Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is because the responsibility that I inherit. Right. That's it.
There we go.
Perform the function of the war. Right. Let's say Pontiac was an Ottawa war chief. First line come out of their mouth, right? He's an Ottawa war chief.
Mm-hmm.
So we inherit these responsibilities if we capable of fulfilling the function, right? And we can pull rank by blood and by right. But when you run into somebody else that's an elder, you're not supposed to tell the elders what to do. You're supposed to present what you're presenting to them in hopes that they see what's transpiring on the land.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're paying attention, then my receipts make sense. If you're not paying attention, I sound like a babbling idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's show them the message that I got.
You want to go to the next slide?
Yeah, go to the message I got. They had a chance to read that. Show them the message I got. That's not it.
They said, I'm gonna go to
that wasn't it. No, that's not it. That's not it.
Oh, no,
the message.
Okay, I know the message. I know which one you talking about. Yeah, hey, so they saying Rod, Rod, because you ain't get your paperwork from the white man.
Just pull the message up. Just pull the message up. Let the message speak for itself.
I got you. No, I'm not talking about the message. I'm not talking about what the message said. Hey, you want to read it?
Okay, now
there you go.
This is from Ishmael Bay, and this is what he told me. How can I call myself a chief, but don't have a diplomatic, recognized nation or tribe? Everybody know what tribe I'm from, unless you ain't paying attention to what I'm talking about. Right? They know my chief is Larry Hoover. We what you call outlaw clans. We're going to get into what an outlaw tribe is in a minute. They also call non-treaty tribes.
Go ahead.
We don't have a contract with the corporation, so there's no status quo that I have to keep to satisfy anything with the corporation. This is the exile. Right? Yeah, now watch, this is directly against the culture right here. What you should be teaching people. He can't tell me what I should be doing.
Go ahead, Rod.
He can offer a suggestion, but he can't tell me because he don't know what I'm doing. Don't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Right? But he telling me what I need to be doing. Teaching people is international law, human rights, etc. We got enough motherfuckers. Listen, we got enough motherfuckers teaching human rights. You got all of your clubs and your organizations teaching human rights. They don't need me for that shit. International law is the law of nations. Admiralty and maritime jurisdiction has been overthrown. So international law no longer apply in the same capacity it did in 2017.
Go ahead, Rod.
Right? But if you're not aware of what's taking place with this global front that's approaching your front door, you won't never see what's coming. Because it's here. Right? Okay, now, he said me I could speak this stuff for years, but our people still will be held under servitude. You're not teaching the people how to liberate themselves. You sitting on Instagram all day is not making no movement for our people for liberation. Now, the reason why I know he haven't been paying attention because he would have knew a long time ago. I told them that there's a group of chiefs in Raven Rock, Colorado, with a group of military generals in a continuity of government that's watching me to know what move our people need to make next in order to finish collapsing the old corporate fiction and raising the government of the tribal nations. The problem is everybody who needed an opportunity to abandon the contract right? Abandoning the contract is the only legal defense. So you take your ass to DC if you want to and think that you finna be part of negotiating the contract of anything in DC, you setting yourself up for failure.
Let's go. Let's get it.
We the tribes, they talk about recognized tribes. 5 tribes. I'm representing over 500 tribes.
Let's go. Let's get
right?
it.
But we got to deal with the contracts between the 5 civilized tribes versus the ones who refuse the contract that they used to call savage.
Go ahead.
Savage mean that you are outlaw on the land, that you're not part of the fiction. I don't have to do business with the corporation, but anything the corporation use in a system to oppress us, I can turn it around and use it against them. That's our culture.
Go ahead.
Right? So, this is the foundation of what we're talking about in this. Now, first, let's go to the slide. I'm gonna show you which one to pull up, Elder.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
There's one got highlight on it. It's at the bottom.
In the order you sent me, this.
That one right there.
Yeah, right there. This one right here. Yeah. Okay, all right. I also got that TikTok video you said too.
We might not get to that today. This is more important.
Come on, baby. What's you doing? What's you doing?
Okay, so to give y'all understanding, when I say an outlaw tribe, right? It says a secondary meaning of outlaw is the person who systematically avoids capture by evasion and violence. These meanings are related and overlapping, but not necessarily identical. A fugitive who is declared outside protection of law in one jurisdiction, but who receives asylum and lives openly and obedient to local laws in another jurisdiction is an outlaw in the first meaning, but not in the second. Right? So a famous general named Napoleon was branded an outlaw by the crown. But when they sent the soldiers to execute him, they liberated him from prison, came back and took the crown, and that's how he became Napoleon the Great.
Yeah.
Right? Now, as an outlaw tribe, I don't follow the judicial system of the legal fiction. That don't got nothing to do with me. I follow all laws and policies set forth by my chairman and executive staff according to my literature. Right? So let's go to let's go back again. I'm just get another one.
All right, let's get it.
Okay, let's go to let's start from the bottom.
All right, start from the bottom. All right, start from the bottom. That was a letter, and then this right here was the next one. This right here. I wonder why this shit taking so long to load up. Okay. And common law, that was the one that was after that one.
Yeah. Now this is about a legal explanation of outlawry, right? It came out of a term from England, common law of England, a writ of outlawry. That means that made a pronouncement, caput lupinum, let he be as a wolf's head, right? Remember, we wore wolves.
That's right.
They were vampires from Europe, bloodsuckers from Europe.
That's right.
Right? Equating that person with a wolf in the eyes of the law. Not only was the subject deprived of all legal rights being outside the law, but others could kill him on sight as if he were a wolf or other wild animal.
Werewolf.
Right?
It's right there.
Now watch this. Women were declared waived rather than outlawed, but it was effectively the same punishment. Slide over to the other side, Elder.
I got you. I want to go down a little bit. Boom. All right. Can you see it there?
Yeah. Your picture in the way. You say there have been several instances, something, and or political conflicts throughout history whereby one side declared at the other as being illegal. Right? Now, all our tribes believe that the United States Corporation is an illegal enterprise operating on our soil.
Right.
But they got contracts with the civilized tribes.
Go ahead.
Remember that. Remember that, because that's important as I go through this. It's a notorious cases being the use of prescription in the civil wars of the Roman Republic. In later times, there's a notable case of Napoleon Bonaparte, whom the Congress of Vienna on the 13th of March, 1815, declared had deprived himself of the protection of the law.
Go ahead.
Outlaw tribes don't believe that we have the protection of the law or ever had the protection of the law.
Go ahead.
We believe that the law has been used as a weapon against us, the outlaw tribes on the land, operating in the capacity of a sovereign nation on the land. But every time we start organizing our clans in order to oust the imposters, they send somebody called the FBI in there and other infiltrators to try to overthrow the tribes. They don't want us organized. Growing into this position as a war chief, right, it becomes my responsibility, if I know a solution, to play the game in the public domain. For the rest of the chiefs, this is how they haze me. $33 mean master, 69 mean balance.
So there you have it. Our DNA is circular, the balance master 33. To me, they use that 33 degrees shit. It's all dealing with like, to me, it's like the sun, the motion of the sun, you know.
No, it's the segmentation of knowledge. It's three parts. It's a big pie. And the pie cut into three parts. 33 and the third gives a whole part to each person.
Yeah, that's right. To three people out of 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in reference to the what the Dogons taught about the zodiac information. The zodiac 33 degrees, Tropicana, like, no, at the Tropicana, then you got the equator, and then you got the that's the other one, it's Capricorn. Yeah, so when that line is at 33 degrees, and that's what they was talking about when they said Jesus died on the cross, he come back and rise from the dead. It's all dealing with Dogon esoteric teachings. The 33 degrees, like all 8 degrees, really. But like I say, like I believe it's what you said too, because it's more too. It's always a bigger perspective that you could take in on all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Look, so you got to remember, all of this shit is controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Everything we see, the have and the have-nots, is pitted against us by class. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The geek community and the regular community is to separate us by intelligence.
Okay.
Right? isolate people from each other, and you can keep the unity of the people from ever requiring to be free and at peace. But when the people become a unified voice for peace, harmony, and prosperity, and they don't accept the status quo, then they have to come out with a new system to appease the people.
That's right. That's right.
Right? They're not going to make everybody happy, but they can give you enough to keep you from rebelling. So this is all part. Right. So when you go back and you look, ancient code of kings comes from the Babylonian kings, because they was the first kings to ever declare themselves kings in the queendom. So they created the Valley of the Kings, but all throughout the Valley of the Kings, all of the kings are singing odes or poetic songs to the queens. So the Valley of the Kings is actually the Valley of the echo of the king's love for the queen.
Go ahead.
Right? So you got the pylons and the pillars in order to carry the echo, because it creates a separation in the sound wave that measures the pace like a music instrument.
Go ahead, you crack.
That's why you got all them long columns and rows. Right? You got to remember, we used to have booming voices. We all squeaky now.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, Rod. Talk about it.
The average guy used to talk like Barry White or like Michael Clark Duncan. Now we talk damn near like Little Richard.
Like little squeaky, bro. You got the squeaky shit now.
Right. That's because we changed from the diaphragm and we went to the nasal.
Go ahead.
Right. So now we're not breathing from the core, we breathing from the surface. And when you're not breathing deep enough, you can't think deep because you don't have enough oxygen. And then your brain's going to regulate itself to use as much of the possible oxygen as it can in order to facilitate your thought, but he ain't going to kill himself to get it done.
Go ahead.
Right? So when we learn to go back to breathing from the diaphragm, our voices is going to adjust. And this might sound slightly vulgar, but our nuts going to drop. When we start exercising our throat chakra with it, the people going to feel it. And when they feel it, it's going to help them see it. We talking in the light code. And the light code is the code that reaches the codon on the DNA. Because it's all activated memory, all you got to do is remember that Earth will tell you where you belong. Put your hands on the ground and talk to her. She'll talk back to you by dreams and by visions. And some shit you just gonna automatically know because you already know it. You just wasn't ready to accept it yet. Once we all start tapping back in the earth start fighting for us. That's when you get Atlas Shrugged. And that's why the importance of these sisters being healed is so high, because they are the current carriers to the love frequency of earth that resonate through the mitochondrial that drives them in to clean up the land. I'm just saying.
You said a mouthful, man. I'm telling you.
There's a kingdom come on the Queen's land, right? Because them flying kings jumped off their goddamn checkerboard. They didn't know they was jumping out the frying pan into the fire, right? They said them country boys ain't know what they was doing because they couldn't play this knockaround game the same, because all we know about is motherfucking milking cows and baling hay. So they sent one of us country boys to the city to get a good education.
Yeah, good education. I like that.
So they tapped me.
Hey, man, this right here the last question, man. And I know people wanted to know about this. Rashard Jamal, man, they gave him his time or whatever. How much time did they give him?
They gave him 16 years. 16
years. Now, you said you was telling me something on the phone about this is a rerun or replay of a certain guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a reenactment of the captivity Toussaint Louverture in custody of the French. He just playing it all backwards to reverse the conjure, but it's still gonna have the same result. They still not gonna be able to hold him. But they playing the conjure out in reverse.
Go ahead.
Right? You gotta remember who settled or who invaded what parts of our land, and then it'll make a little more sense. Because the French came behind the Spaniards to try to settle the Louisiana territory. We fought them tooth and nail to a stalemate at the port of New Orleans, where they signed the protectorate agreement for the Louisiana territory, which they would end up selling to the English. And Andrew Jackson will use that as the pretext to transfer us over by classification as slaves, Negroes, blacks, coloreds, and free black men in law. All that was codes to take and usurp us from the land.
Wow. That's a lot. That's what I was saying, man. Like, they did a lot of shit. This wasn't no overnight shit, man. They took a long time to get us to where they got us now. This was
you got to remember, we went from fighting them tooth and nail, blood, guts, and gore in the Gullah Wars, in the wars in South America, bloody wars on the islands. This wasn't no cakewalk. But what happened that made us all stop fighting? Then you get to the Conjure War, because otherwise we have no reason to ever stop fighting them, because they still here.
When you made me go study that Seminole War, they said in part of it that we was killing. That they were killing our kids and we were killing their kids. And at one point, we just said, you know what, the kids really ain't got nothing. Like, so we just calmed it down. They was killing our. They was used. Okay, so we had a branch of Sobek priest over here who used to ride through the swamp and on fucking 30-foot alligator backs. Yeah. The alligator was like his personal raft, his dog. And he could attack people for him. Go ahead.
Right now, we in the swamps and the bayous of Louisiana, all the way down into Florida. These priests. So what ended up happening in the wars is they begin to kill us. We kill them, bodies left in the water, but they would only eat the body of the enemies because they knew their own clan. So they start kidnapping our babies in the raids, and this is where you get your term, gator bait.
Go ahead.
They start using our babies to agitate the alligators in the South to make them attack our blood. Before, they had no reason to do anything to us because we were symbiotic to the alligators. But when the invaders came, they was hostile to us and the alligators, and it's a case of divide and conquer at that point.
Man, you just said some heavy duty stuff, man, about that alligator thing, because I heard something like that before. I heard that like the alligators didn't mess with us, and then when they started feeding the babies, that's when the alligators got confused and said, we don't know who.
Anybody come down here and biting your ass. But see, you got to remember, at the same time they using our babies for gator bait, they killing the biggest, oldest gators that was passing on the energy secrets to the younger gators that kept them in line. It was the same in Africa, in that forest preserve where all of the young bull elephants didn't have any of the old bucks to tell them. Right? So they was doing that to the alligators because the Sobek priests could talk to real old alligators telepathically easy because the gator had become so mentally strong, his telepathy was almost instant.
Yeah, they some of the oldest creatures in the world. Them in the hip.
Yeah. Right. So the Sobek priests, you can look them up now. You can go to YouTube.
Yeah, anybody was, Sobek is Rod's brother.
That's the crocodile guy. Look, that's the crocodile guy. But look, go to YouTube and type in African tribe lives with crocodiles. This is a different clan of Sobek priests. That's like denominational, like Presbyterian and Baptist. They just on different land masses but their religion is the same. They crocodile priests. If you want the history, look up Sobek, study the history of Sobek, and then you will know why they was the crocodile and the alligator, crocodilians of all kind, is sacred to the Sobek priests. These is the brothers we see today that like to wear alligator shoes in the hood.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm with you.
They got already got a strong affection for the alligator. They tribally tied to the totem animal, the crocodile and the alligator. Sobek priests.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They said that's what that Native American said. He said, man, the crocodiles didn't attack us before they had another name for the white man. They called them something else, but he said that they didn't attack us before these people came.
Mm-hmm.
He even said there wasn't no squirrels over here. It wasn't no squirrels till the Europeans came. No squirrels. I was like, damn, there wasn't no squirrels over here in America.
I know that during the arrival of the immigrants, they brought in what was called the Norwegian wood rat that mixed with the local rats and made super rats in Chicago, New York, and other major cities where they had ports.
Wow.
Yeah, it got so bad in Chicago, they had super rat wanted posters stapled up in the alleys warning you about the super rats. They chased dogs and cats away.
Wow. Wow. Man, that dude told me, he said a squirrel ain't nothing but a tree rat. A tree rat.
Look, we've been eating squirrel a long time.
Yeah, my dad
in the South, listen, in the South, a lot of our eating habits was more broader than they is living in the city. When you move to the city, you begin to limit your variety of things you cook because you got more of what you demand on hand. Right? And then they condition you to a certain diet and they push that diet through the local community, and that's how they keep you eating what they want you to eat.
Like in Atlanta, niggas eat wings 24 hours a day. In Atlanta.
I eat fried chicken. Look, I love fried chicken. That's cultural. Fried chicken originated over here. It didn't originate nowhere else.
Yeah,
it was right down there off the coast of the Mississippi, down into Louisiana, what we call the old bayou area.
I can see that.
Big Mama used to fry the chicken legs and put them in the bowls on the counter for snacks because we ain't had no bags of potato chips. And right next to it was little squares of cornbread because we ain't have no bags of potato chips, no popcorn, no Doritos. Them was our snacks when visitors come to the house. It's a big pile of chicken already cooked in case somebody hungry when they come off of a long journey. That's cultural. That's ancient in the culture, right?
Yeah. You know, people think that's bad now, like eating chicken and all that. But back then, you gotta keep in mind, we raised our own shit then, you know, chickens and all that. Everybody raised their own shit. That now they mass production and hormone, it's all kind of crazy.
Right. Well, they gotta be able to effectively get us to consume toxins by using under the pretense of preservatives. Right. You gotta remember, refrigerators are only 150 years old. How do we keep our food fresh?
Well, Chief Warhorse said on the land how we kept our food fresh was two ways. One, we put them behind waterfalls. He said that the waterfalls were like our natural refrigerators for our land and for the buffalo meat. That's one way she said. And then another way, I think it was we did it like we salted it and planted it. I can't remember exactly the other one, but I know one of them was behind the waterfall. Like, it was like
the other one is we used to store them in salt mines.
Okay, that's what it was. That's what she said. Salt mines.
You store the meat in the salt mine, it dehydrates the meat. It can't rot, and it can't build up bacteria.
Yeah, smokehouse too. I think she said smokehouse.
The smokehouse is what you did. That's part of the process of packing it on salt. This way you got salt pork and all that stuff.
That's right.
from salt and the meats. So salt and the meats was remember, salt used to be currency at one time. It was so valuable.
Right. Motherfuckers started a war with that shit.
Yeah. So, right. So if you understand that, you know that when we was using salt as a means of preserving food, you know why we didn't trade it internationally on such a large scale.
That's right. That's right.
Now they dump it in the street to keep the water from freezing in the ice on the roads.
They starved us out, man. They wiped out buffalo. I remember you showed us that picture of all the buffalo heads that they were standing on.
Mm-hmm.
So to sum it up about the Conjure Wars, so they was after all of our survival way of survival. They attacked it. They was after any way they could shut us down and take control of us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so this is what we was looking at. We wasn't looking at it, but this is what they were doing. It's a warfare strategy. The strategy is to control all of the key areas that people need for their survival to make them dependent on the system that you're installing. So they sent outlaws to rob all of the big mama's banks, and then they offered to consolidate the banks under a central banking system because economics is the #1 reason why they came. So economics was the first thing that they used to subdue us as a people.
Wow.
Then once they took control of the economics by shutting all the big mama's banks down, because now we in a warlock, meaning all vaults are locked. Big mama ain't opening no more chambers. Go back to the movie National Treasure if you want to know what I'm talking about. But Big Mama ain't let no more money out her purse until we fix this problem on the land.
Yeah, Jesse James wasn't robbing no damn white folks bank. He was robbing Big Mama shit. You know what I'm saying?
All of them outlaws. That's how they lured the banks into the FDIC protectorate agreement, because the FDIC, being a branch of the federal government, would have full access to federal law enforcement.